here's a scenario for you. What if I was on vacation, but I didn't care? I'm going to make a review regardless. Today we're going to talk about Marvel's What If. Now let's do it. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. We have a new Marvel TV show, and I have seen the first 3 episodes of What If, so we're going to talk about it today. I need you guys in the comments down below. How have you felt about the MCU outings so far this year? If you'd like to see me do individual episode reviews, because every episode is drastically different, smash that thumbs up down below. If I get enough, we'll try to do that every single Wednesday. But we're going to talk about the first 3, like I said, spoiler-free. Let's get into it. So exploring pivotal moments from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and turning them on their head, leading the audience into uncharted territory. What If follows the Watcher on his journey through the multiverse. Now, I guess a minor spoiler if you've never seen Loki and WandaVision technically, but we have opened up the multiverse. And one thing so beautiful about this show, and I said it in my tweet, my immediate reaction, is they're not only exploring what is happening within the confines of the MCU with our characters, but different variations and versions, but they're also bringing in comic book fans. And not that the MCU didn't already have comic book fans, but they're saying, hey, here's what we're doing with these characters. We're going to bring in the comic book lore and some things that I've seen teased for other episodes. They're absolutely going to do that, but we're also going to switch it up in a way that feels like it works with the characters that we know, even though we're obviously in different realities and universes, and we're exploring different sides of not only the Marvel Universe, but the wide array of genres that a show like this could tackle. Now, the episodes that I have seen, I will give somewhat of a brief synopsis of each. So if you don't want to know anything about these shows, and I won't talk about the characters, the cameos, the reveals, the Easter eggs, I mean, this is just an Easter egg-filled show. So fans of the MCU, fans of comic books, you're going to watch this and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Never thought they would do that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's already come out that it's canon, so they're doing it, and it's fantastic. But I will go over what each episode is all about. So episode 1, the one you all are going to watch this week, is actually my least favorite episode, but for a reason that maybe I wasn't expecting. I thought this would be maybe one of my favorites because it is the one dealing with Captain Carter, and she's such a compelling character, and most of the voice cast is back for a lot of these shows. Even the bigger characters like a Chadwick Boseman and a couple more that show up that you guys don't know are going to show up, and it's going to be freaking awesome when you get to see it. But talking about Captain Carter, the reason why I had an issue with this episode was not the characters or the iterations or, you know, getting to see a different side of Bucky, a different side of Steve, who has a very different presence in this episode than what we expected. You saw a tease of that in a clip. I won't go any further in this review, but I had an issue with the pacing here. We're kind of thrown into this, and we're almost doing somewhat of a first Avenger, just in a different way, like the entire movie covering a lot of ground, and we're trying to squeeze that into 30 minutes. And while the concept itself was great, and there were some really awesome moments with characters, I thought it moved a bit too quick, and it felt choppy. Now, I like the fact that they're using a different style, some animation, an art style that some may have to get used to, but I thought it looked really great. As it progressed, I liked it even more, but I was like, okay, episode 1, glad we got Captain Carter, but what else you got? Then episode 2 comes around, and it is the Chadwick Boseman episode. It is the episode where we are seeing him take on the iconic role of Star-Lord, but not the Star-Lord that we know, because obviously it is T'Challa. So because of that, he's going to have different interactions. He's going to speak with different characters and maybe even meet a few that we've seen in other movies that we don't expect to show up in a show like this. But beyond that, we get some more characters in that 3rd episode that is a murder mystery episode, and it may seem simplistic on its surface because some of you may have seen the synopsis, and yeah, that's a small piece of the larger puzzle, but as episode 3 progressed, the murder mystery episode, really revolving around Black Widow, but other characters that make their way in there, this was the episode I was watching and said, you know what? What If could be something special. Now, because every episode is different and not everyone's going to respond to every story in the same way, I don't know if it will be special for everyone, especially seeing that first episode. And let me implore you, if you don't love the first episode, now if you love it, then I'm happy, and you're definitely going to love the rest of the series because it's way more shocking and unexpected. But if you had issues like I did with the pacing, this and that, just hold out, because there are so many different and crazy things coming in episodes 2 and 3 that make me sit back and say, you know what? They did it. They delivered on bringing us a very different show than anything else. And I feel like I said that every time we get a Marvel show. Yeah, it's a very different show than anything else we've seen so far, but that is truly the case. And What If is exploring the multiverse like nothing we have ever seen before. Different worlds, different versions of our characters, whether it be slightly tweaked or one decision, one moment sets us off on a path. And Jeffrey Wright's The Watcher is just the ultimate narrator. He's the ultimate guide through this incredible journey, and he allows it to be so entertaining, interesting, so much fun. Now, I mentioned the voice cast. Wright is great. You know, we have Haley Atwell and Sean Gunn and Samuel L. Jackson and Stanley Tucci and Sebastian Stan and Chadwick Boseman. By the way, Chadwick Boseman's episode, it is literally just... I mean, you're watching this and being one of his final performances. I think he's in a few of these episodes, but man, you just want to tear up watching that. The only thing I will say, though, as a criticism is hearing someone else portray Steve Rogers, someone else portray Iron Man, it is weird. And I was hoping it wouldn't throw me off. It did. That's something I expected, so it didn't bother me too much, but it is very hard not hearing Chris Evans, not hearing Robert Downey Jr. So I don't know if I'm used to it yet. It's something I'm going to have to get used to. I mean, Austin, come on, man. You know that's got to happen. Sure, I get it. But as a fan of these characters, I still kind of want the characters. So, yeah, it's something I'm trying to work on mentally, but I guess I'll mark it down as a criticism. But all in all, it's just 3 episodes. Not going to give you guys a score just yet, but I will say What If is a treat for comic and MCU fans. All of these scenarios and different outcomes are so much fun to watch. I wasn't fully on board with the pacing, like I said, of every episode, but the last 2 that I watched, episodes 2 and 3, are so surprising. Such a creative concept, and so far, it has delivered. But again, very different show because every episode's different, therefore every episode you kind of have to judge on its own, and that's why I'm going to be doing weekly recaps. That is, if you guys want to see it, if you like this video, weekly recaps of What If, just kind of exploring that version of the timeline. Can't wait to get to episode 3, but episode 2 is really good, and Captain Carter as a character works really, really well, so maybe we'll see her on the big screen. Fingers crossed. All right, guys, like I said, I'm on vacation. Appreciate you for joining me. Thank you for making me want to take the time to do this. Appreciate it big time, and I'll be seeing you very soon.